Our Seaside band, sounding good. You always sound good. Sound great. We're blessed. Welcome. I invite you to come on in and take a seat. It is time to begin our service on this wonderful, shortest day of the year, Sunday. My name is Reverend Debbie McDonald, and I have some announcements for you this morning, some things that are going on around here in the next few weeks. But before I begin, I want to just take a moment to introduce a practitioner that's holding the light for us today. Practitioner Denise Harmon. Thank you, Denise. Denise is holding the high watch for us today. Our practitioner always sits in the back of the service and holds that space for all of us. It's the place that we call our prayer request our area. You can write a written prayer request and put it back there into the chest, or you can have live prayer on Wednesday evenings after service or on Sundays after both service. Just either go over here to the prayer request chest, put a written prayer request in there, and those are distributed anonymously, or not anonymously, confidentially, to all of our practitioners, and we'll pray for you for a few weeks on those prayers, knowing that they're complete. Or you can have live prayer at our prayer chapel outside the side door, or you can go over here to the prayer corner and hook up with a practitioner, and they'll make sure that you given a prayer. So please don't leave here with anything on your heart today. If there's anything that's up for you around the holiday season, we are here to pray with you and for you. So please take advantage of that. Today is the very last day to get one of your Seaside cookbooks. If you haven't had to cook out a cookbook yet, there are a few left. They're wrapped, they're ready to go right under the tree. See the girls in the family rooms afterwards, and I think that's it. They are done after today with our cookbooks. Yeah. Education catalog is coming out in just a few weeks. Next week, the sign-ups will be on the table. I want you to just save the dates. We have a wonderful whole catalog of winter classes that are coming up. Dr. Christian is teaching foundations. He teaches it twice a year, so take it now in winter, or you have to wait till fall next year. It is the place that you want to start. You want to start with foundations class. You want to start with Dr. Christian. It's a wonderful opportunity to get to spend some time with him in a more intimate setting and to go deeper into our Science of Mind principles. He will be starting the week of January 11th. He teaches on Tuesday evenings. Reverend Tammy will be teaching the power of the word. So if you're wanting to go deeper in learning a spiritual mind treatment, in the prayer that we learn here, the affirmative prayer, that is the class with Reverend Tammy on Monday evenings. We have Dr. Roger Julien, who's coming in. He's one of our Holmes Institute instructors. He's a fabulous minister, and he's teaching Ignite Your Life with Bible Wisdom. It's a loved class. It's always a full class. It's a wonderful time to learn what we think about the Bible here in religious science and a metaphysical interpretation of the Bible, and it's beautiful. It's wonderful. So that's going to be on Thursday evenings. There's many more classes, and the full catalog, like I said, will be out next week. Today, the Toys for Tots box is already gone. I think most of the things have been delivered to the Community Resource Center, but there still is opportunity to purchase turkey bucks, and that is a donation that goes to the Community Resource Centers where they're able to buy the turkeys and the things that are needed to fill the holiday gift basket. So if you haven't had a chance to give yet, that is still available to you. We have our holiday events here at Seaside. We are having our first ever Christmas Day service. So Dr. Tillotson, Christina Tillotson, is doing service at noon, and that is on Christmas Day, followed by a 1 o'clock buffet for everybody. Everybody is welcome. Anybody is welcome. Please come and be part of that. If you don't have a place to have Christmas dinner, or if you're just wanting to come and be with like-minded individuals, it is open to everyone, 1 o'clock on Christmas Day. New Year's Eve, Dr. Tillotson also does her burning bowl ceremony. She does that at 7 o'clock on New Year's Eve. Chance to come in and do some meditation and music and release anything from the past that is no longer serving you. You burn it, it's gone, and you're free to step into the new year. She does it purposely early at 7 o'clock, so you have time to go out to your New Year's Eve parties afterwards. So you don't have to give up your party to come and do that. Today is the winter solstice. I believe the sun sets at 4:45 today. It's the shortest day of the year. We have our drumming circle. Last year it was sold out. It's an amazing event. Marv's going to show us a slide. Marv, you have a slide on that? Christina Stevens in the middle. She's the drummer, and tickets are available today after service. Sharon De Leon, one of our practitioners and event coordinator, is here. Tickets are $20 if you buy them today. They're $25 tonight at the door. We encourage you to come early to get a parking spot and be sure that you get in. 7 o'clock, again, I hear our newest minister, Reverend Lori Mack, is going to be dancing. Is that true, Reverend Lori? Yeah, she's going to be here dancing. So come and be part of all of that tonight. It's a wonderful event. And then Wednesday night services. Reverend Sunshine Day had her final Wednesday night service last Wednesday. It was a fabulous event if you were here for it. It was just beautiful. It was so heartfelt. We are not going to have Wednesday night service the next 2 weeks. We are dark for Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, so we will be having no service. But starting on January 7th, we have a brand new service that's being kicked off. I'm so excited about it. It's going to be myself and Reverend Lori Mack, who is sitting over there. Yes, we're really, really thrilled. The service is called Going Within, and on the first and third Wednesday evenings, I will be doing Practicing the Presence, Spiritual Truths for Positive Living, and Reverend Lori is going to be doing Practicing the Presence, devotional music and meditation, and she'll tell you a little more about that later. But we're very excited. That's January 7th. We'll be doing it together for our first kickoff, so we're really excited about that. And then Tuesday night is the big event. It is our candlelight service. If you have not been to candlelight service at Seaside, you need to come. It is our Christmas extravaganza. We come together, and it's just a wonderful time for family. We light the candles for the different faiths. We sing all sorts of wonderful Christmas songs. There's all sorts of surprises. There's all sorts of fun. And then afterwards, it's Christmas cookies. So please bring a plate of Christmas cookies to share with everybody. Again, get here early because the place does fill up. Kids come back that are away at college. Families all come. It's every age. Santa's here, so bring the little ones. We just welcome you to come and be part of our big, fun Christmas celebration. And I just wish you all a blessed, blessed, blessed holiday. And with that sense of gratitude and love, would you please just stand and greet your neighbor? And please remain standing for the congregational song.
Seaside, please remain standing for the congregational song. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room, and heaven and nature sing. Heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature
sounding good. Hey, good morning, Seaside. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. What a joy it is to be able to celebrate this week of light with all of you. And know that Seaside is a spot that reminds us that that light is within. And tonight, wonderful party going on at Seaside. It is the winter solstice, shortest day of the year. And people have been celebrating this day from the very beginning of time. Everybody got excited about the light returning, the darkness being over, the tide coming back. It's just a fun time to be coming together and just celebrating that birth of something new inside our soul. But we do that every week here at Seaside. And what we do is we put spirit first with it. And so a wonderful practitioner to get us just moving at that deeper level is Brian Atkins. Why don't you pray us in here?
Please join me in the stillness. And I know that God is all there is. God is that all-loving, caring source that permeates everything and everyone, that eternal love. And I know that we are all one with God. We are one with this source of love and caring and compassion. Like the colors of the rainbow, each of us is that divine essence, that God essence, expressing in our own unique way, closer to us than our breath. That is where God is. And so I give thanks in advance in knowing that this wonderful experience at Seaside here today is divinely guided. I give you thanks in knowing that each of us here today receives exactly that which we are here for. As the words flow forth from Dr. Christian Sorensen's lips, each of us is touched. Each of us receives that shift, that change that changes each of us. And we, in turn, take that out into the world and spread it to others. And consciousness expands throughout the world. And so I simply turn this time over to the hands of God and know that it is perfect. And so it is.
Blessings and grace, love overflowing, joy in this place. Spirit is showing blessings and grace, mind, body, soul, and I am one with God. Blessings and grace, love overflowing, joy in this place. Spirit is showing blessings and grace, mind, body, soul, and I am one with God. Blessings and grace, love overflowing, joy in this place. Spirit is showing blessings body, soul, and I am one with God.
There's Rebecca Jade and Lynn Willard. Thank you. Good morning. I'm Reverend Tammy Mars. It's my joy. It's with deep love that I just wish you all a happy holiday season. This is an exciting week for us as we have that opportunity. You can feel it building in your body, just a greater love, a greater expanded feeling. And it's so beautiful to have this time that reminds us to walk around with eyes that see the little children that are excited and see the light everywhere and all of it. It's truly a beautiful example of how we really can be with the eyes of God living every day. So I'm glad that you're here. I want to just welcome you. And any family members that might be here, we welcome you too. It's so nice to come in with family. We have a gift packet in the back for you that tells you a little bit about who we are, has some coupons and some different things that you can use in our bookstore and around. So be sure to pick up our gift packet and enjoy your week here. And come back and see us anytime that you can. So we're glad that you're here and sharing your Sunday. Reverend Christian's talking today about awakening in love. And I've chosen a reading from Christian D. Larson, Pathway to Roses. So I just invite you to take these words within. Pure soul love loves because it must love. Therefore, to awaken the love of the soul is to place in action one of the highest powers that is in the universe. A power that can do so much because it is so much. To feel the interior presence of this love with its high and its strong and its invincible power not only produces a joy that cannot be measured, but also lifts us into a universe that is fairer by far than we ever imagined heaven can be. And truly it is heaven. It's heaven we enter when we love with such a love, when we love as God loves. Pure love sees no evil, no sin, no wrong. It does not live in a world of illusion and darkness. It is a child of the light. Where love is, there will be the light also. And neither darkness, sickness, nor sin can exist in the light. When we love in this supreme spiritual sense, we give power to our practical efforts that we never gave before. We give life to our work when we do it with love. This deep, strong soul love is as practical as any tangible force in the world. And when you awaken in the world of true spiritual love, real love takes possession of all of your feelings and all of your desires. You will gain possession of one of the highest and one of the greatest powers in the universe. For God is the very soul that loves, because it is love. A deep, pure, spiritual love that gives man the power to know that the Father and I are one. And so it's in that truth of love that I just invite you to move with me into the light. As we close our eyes to this outside world of that which is already in manifestation, and we move into that deep, rich inner space that is filled with infinite possibilities, that is awaiting to be molded, that is filled with that grace, that wonderful power and presence, that intelligence of life itself. For there is one power and one presence, and it is God, and it is who and what we are. For in fact, it is the activity of every cell in our body. It is the thoughts that we think. It is this path that we walk. It is every action that we are. For it cannot be separate from us, for the Father and I are one, made in the image and likeness thereof. So I know each of us are standing on holy ground, for each of us are this divine expression, and it is good and only good. I know that God never said oops. God cannot be denied. So it's with this deep knowingness and this deep oneness that I bless our time here and now. For it is with this intention, this awakeness, that greater and greater expression makes its way out into our world and the world of those that we love and the world in which we are living in. So it's with that I open my heart, my mind, my soul, and live in deep gratitude to be awake and aware and a vessel and to experience the grace and the good of God as my very life, as your life, as the Seaside Center, as the all good that's everywhere present. So it's with great thanks that I say thank you, Mother, Father, God. Thank you for this wonderful season we are in of awakening and awareness and light. And so it is. Amen.
Good morning, Seaside. How you guys doing? Thank you. It is my honor to introduce our guest artist for today. We've heard him before, and he's come down to visit us from Los Angeles. Beautiful, beautiful voice. I hope you guys will enjoy it. If you like what you hear, he has CDs for sale in the back after the service. So without further ado, please give a nice welcome to Andrew Pettit.
Hi. Good morning and happy holidays to you all. I'm just going to start off. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. You've got dreams and you've got goals. There's a vision burning down in your souls. Hold on. There's nothing that you can't do. You gotta be driven, motivated to stir up the gift that God has placed in you. Hold on. The future's looking bright for you, no matter how hard it seems. Never give up and always believe. Hold on. Hold on to your dreams. Though you're facing adversity, you can be all you can be if you hold on. Yeah, hold on to your dreams. Determination is the key in this cold world. If you're gonna succeed, you must hold on. There's nothing that you can't do. Don't be discouraged by the trials you face, 'cause your beautiful heart would be a terrible thing to waste if you hold on. There's nothing that you can't do, no matter how hard it seems. Yeah, never give up and always believe. Hold on. Hold on to your dream. Though you're facing adversity, you can be all you can be if you hold on. Hold on to your dream. Hold on and be strong. Never let nobody tell you you can't make it. Hold your head up high, keep your eye on the prize. Your dreams are attainable, and your labor is not in vain. Hold on, hold on, my brother, my sister. No matter how hard it gets, you've got to hold on. Hold on. Oh, God's gonna bring you out. All right, all right, all right. And it's gonna be all right. See, I know it's gonna be all right. I know that it will. It will what you're going through. Just remember God has a specific plan for you. Give your heart, it's gonna be all right.
Hey! And that is Andrew Pettit. Oh my. Awakening something in our heart and soul. Could you feel that? Just build and build and build. That's great. Hey, that's what this morning is about, is that awakening something inside of our heart, inside of our soul, something that cannot really be described, but it's that love. I mean, that love that is awakening within you in this season, of that light that is returning, and the joy, and that sense of giving, and the sense of the music, and the sense of the festivities, there is something that is awakening. And so this morning is about awakening that love that is within us, because if you don't have that love inside your heart, you're not going to find it under the Christmas tree on Christmas morning. It's like, oh, there it is. Yeah, we have been given all this heads up that this is a great time to step into the stream, into this flow, and into this activity, and work on the inside. As you have the love on the inside, then it goes to the outside, and then what life does is it delivers it back from the outside to the inside, and it's just wonderful the way that flow works. And I've just been very proud of Seaside this week. All of you know what I'm talking about. It's been a very generous kind of week. We wrap up today the wonderful shelter that we have created for the homeless here in the North County. We have made sure that they had a roof over their head, and they were fed, and they were in beds for them to be in. And it's just been a very rewarding experience. Wonderful stories have come with that. This week, we sent off with Jim Coleman a box full of Toys for Tots. And it's like as we were loading up his car this week, I was going, yeah, Seaside, way to come through. It just feels so good to be putting in toys and teddy bears and footballs and basketballs and the fairgrounds. Oh my goodness, there are 1,500 families that got baskets this week at the fairground, and Seaside contributed thousands of pounds of food to that. We contributed 50 stuffed animals for the kids. We contributed blankets and coats. And I'm just like standing feeling good. Seaside is delivering in a big way. You talk about the inside out. It is, it's wonderful. And not only on the outside world, but also our Seaside sisters got together. There was 50 of the women that got together yesterday for tea, and they just gave gifts to each other. Nothing, you didn't have to bring anything. You only had to be willing to come and receive the gifts. And I see there was a bunch left over, and I know Callie and the Seaside sisters want to give the women a gift. So if you see anything on those tables that you want, it's yours. So they'd love to gift it to you. No strings attached to it. It's just what it's the season's about. This is how the heart awakens to love. I mean, this week, little Tali Gertz came by our house on the first night of Hanukkah, and my son Trevor never experienced Hanukkah before, and had all the traditional foods that go with it. He got to light his first menorah, played dreidel, and she got all of his chocolate coins, and he just had a great time with Hanukkah. He couldn't say Hanukkah, so what he says is Happy Harmonica. So there's an awakening going on within the consciousness in our culture at this time that invites you to be part of joy. And you don't have to be Scrooge. You don't have to be miserable. You don't have to say, well, I don't want to play. I'll tell you, the people have been celebrating the return of the light from the beginning of time. As people were walking this planet, they realized, there's a certain day in December where it's no longer going to be dark longer. It's going to start getting lighter. What a metaphor. How wonderful. That is the awakening, the love of the light, of the surge, of the tide of something. And our cultures are filled with stories. And I want to share a couple with you this morning, ones that you're familiar with. And the first being one that I grew up with. It was very special in my family. It was Dickens' Christmas Carol about Ebenezer Scrooge. My parents, they had an actors workshop in Hollywood in the 50s, and they did something called the Freeway series of A Christmas Carol. And they had this theatrical troupe that went around, and they performed it. And as I came on the scene, all my little buddies got to be Tiny Tim. And I just couldn't wait. I'd been practicing my lines till I was 6 or 7. It was going to be my turn to say, God bless us, everyone. And finally, when I hit 7, it was my year, they stopped doing it. And I was like, oh, man. But my parents would do the show when I was in different spiritual communities. We did it at Seaside several times. And I was always the Scrooge's nephew, the young Scrooge guy. And but the last year I got to be Marley, and I can remember walking down the road, shaking those chains with my gray face and scraggly hair, and it didn't take much work. And the kids running over the seats so scared. I just minister scaring kids. What a concept. My altar. But it was just magical for sure. But the thing about Scrooge that we know is he was just this miser. He was just a nasty human being. He was a penny pincher, squeezed money. I bet if he held a quarter, he'd hold it so tight you could hear the eagle screech. You know, it was just didn't care about others. He liked cold because cold is cheap, is what he said. You know, and so on Christmas Eve, he went home to his dark, dungy, dreary abode, whatever that was, and just locked the door behind him on Christmas Eve all alone. And that's when he started to hear the chains rattling, and his buddy and his partner in crime was Jacob Marley, who came through the walls, which would scare even Scrooge. And he says, this can't be so. It's indigestion. What is it? And he says, you know, what's going on, Marley? And he said, these are the chains I have forged in my life, and I have come to save you from the same thing. He said, and Scrooge says, yeah, you were really good at business, Jacob. He said, business. Mankind was my business. The human welfare was my business. Charity, mercy, forbearance, benevolence is my business. We have failed at this business. And I was like, okay, I get it. I'm trying to save you of this same fate of eternity with the chains. Okay. And so Marley says to Scrooge, you know what? I'm going to send you 3 ghosts tonight to help change your fate. And Scrooge says, I'd prefer not. Ghosts are not my thing. But boom, at 1 o'clock and the bell tolls. In comes the first ghost, the ghost of Christmas past. And it takes Scrooge into the past, into his childhood. And he got to see his life as a child, and how happy he was, and how his first love, and how he danced with her at Fezziwig's barn bash during the holidays, and the joy that he had. And he got to see himself a little bit older, and his girlfriend saying, Ebenezer, you are choosing a different mistress over me. You're choosing money over me. And as he looked at this young Scrooge who was happy, was filled with joy, watched him learn his lessons of loyalty, learn his lessons of love, and had that love awakening in his heart, he began to feel ashamed of himself that somehow he allowed himself to go down a path that allowed him to be cold and uncaring and shut down and unattached from those emotions. There was no awakening of love within this guy's heart, but he saw it one time that was there. Where could it have gone? This is what was just getting him. Irma Bombeck says, one of the saddest things is to wake up on Christmas morning and not be a child anymore. She wasn't talking about age. She was talking about the humbug getting in your consciousness and making you not be that childlike expression of God, forgetting how to love, forgetting how to care, forgetting how to be generous. Well, he gets back home because he just couldn't take that concept of he had it and he let it go. And the ghost of Christmas present came. This was the jolly giant. This was the happy guy. It took Scrooge down the streets, and there were people just laughing, and the lights were out, and the joy and the expression, and there was love on the streets, and people were good. And then the present ghost takes him into his clerk's house, Bob Cratchit. And it's like, man, I don't pay this guy enough. How can he have a family in such a small place? And they went in, and he could hear people. You could hear them talking. Could you imagine if you could hear people talking about you and their opinions about you and what they would be saying about you? It was very less than kind what they were saying about him. But yet Ebenezer was just amazed that here it is, they didn't have much, and they were happy. In this dreary little hole, there was light, there was food, there was laughter, there was caring, there was prayer. And they said, and we've got to pray for Scrooge. And Tiny said, even Scrooge? And Bob Cratchit says, even Ebenezer Scrooge. And Tiny Tim's great line that I never got to say is, God bless us everyone, and even Mr. Scrooge. Yeah. There. He went back home, and the bell boom bonged again, and in came the third ghost, the ghost of that which is yet to be. And Scrooge said, to you, I have feared the most. You know, I saw what I lost as a child. I heard present opinions, but you, I don't know what is yet to be. The ghost says, take my sleeve. And he takes him down the street, and he sees people talking about someone who had died, someone they were glad to see gone, someone that no one had anything nice to say about. It's like, who is this person they could be talking about? Who is this person they're glad to have gone, that he's better dead than alive? He saw these like witches, these women arguing and selling the bedclothes of this dead man. Who could possibly want to sell clothes of a dead person? And saying he's better dead than he's alive. He does us more good now than he ever did before. And Scrooge is going, who could this person be? And the ghost of Christmas future takes him to the graveyard, to an unattended grave where there had been a funeral that nobody attended. In this unattended grave, he moved away the mess, and there was his name on the tombstone, Ebenezer Scrooge, the man that nobody liked, better dead than alive. And he's just horrified. He said, take me home. I can't take it. And he's just praying, hands together. And he said, please, please, please. You know, I am not the man I was, and I'm not going to be the man I would have been if it wasn't for tonight. I will keep Christmas in my heart. I will keep it in my heart every day of the year. And with that, he awoke, and he heard the Christmas bells ringing, and he opened up the door. There's kids out there. And what day is it? It's Christmas Day. He was so excited to be alive that he wanted to make his promise good, because in that future ghost, he saw Tiny Tim's crutches on the wall and Tiny Tim gone. Here was this kid that was riding around on his dad's shoulder, was crippled, and he was dead in the future. He said, is Tiny Tim still around? And yes. He said, take him some food. And he became Tiny Tim's best uncle, and he did not die. He began to be generous and loving, and that Christmas spirit awakened within his heart. And what I want us to get, if that Christmas spirit or that loving spirit can awaken within his heart, it can awaken within all of our hearts. There's nothing that needs to deny the givingness, the generosity, and the love that wants to move through you from the inside out, because the universe wants to pour it from the outside back into your life. It's the way it works. It's not because you want to do it to get something back, but it's because it's who you are. You are the emanation of that light and that love and that expression. If it goes on for Scrooge, my goodness, I know it can go on for you, you know. Because what I do know is Spirit, God, life, wants to do extraordinary things through you. That's how it works. It wants to do extraordinary things through you. And you might be saying, oh, how's that possible? You know, I don't really have a lot to work with here. I mean, God may want to do extraordinary things, but what I want you to get, because I got it, is that if God can multiply a few loaves and a couple fish and feed thousands of people, then whatever it is you got, God can multiply that and take care of the multitudes that are around you. Can bring the love and the givingness into your family and your friends and your environment and your workplace. You can begin to be that emanation of that divine flow of love and life. If Spirit can multiply a few fish and loaves to feed thousands, it can multiply what it is you got. So if you got a little bit of time, you let God in, what happens is you're going to find your ability to do so much more with the time you have. If all you've got is a few dollars, and what you will find all of a sudden, if you let God in, do that multiplying, that you are going to find that those dollars and resources go further than you ever thought were possible. If you only have so much time, what you're going to find is you get more done in that time. It is just the multiplying kind of aspect of Spirit. I want you to get that this is not all that you have to work with. There is so much more that wants to pour forth through you when you allow this awakening to happen inside of you. When you get this Scrooge consciousness gone and allow yourself to be open in this season, the beauty of the season of the returning light reminds us, it invites us to participate in this wellspring, this upsurge of life force that is saying, come play. Everyone else is doing it right now. Why don't you come play too? Because where you are, you don't have to stay there. Gracie Allen said, don't put a period where God put a comma. You know? Working with this young lady who had gone through a divorce. She tried everything she could to keep her marriage strong and solid, but it didn't work and it wasn't right. And she came through the divorce, and what best she could say is, I survived. I survived it. But you look at her, and this beautiful young woman, and there's no sparkle left in the eyes. You know, all the wind was taken out of her sail. The love was gone for life from her being. It's just what I said. It's the second half of your life is intended to be even better than the first half of your life. I mean, it could have been miserable or it could have been wonderful, but what I know that lies before you doesn't have to be what Scrooge saw, because if you could hear what people are saying about you, they're saying, you're wonderful. You're an expression of God. You were a gift. Thank God that you are walking in this world, in this planet, and what I know is lying before you is better than what was behind you. So as you close the chapter to what was, to last year, the chapter that lies before you brings with it the riches, the goodies, those heartfelt expressions, because Spirit didn't stop even if you put a period there, because even if your sense of what you have is limited, God can multiply it, because there has never been a recession in heaven. And I just want to tell you, the good news is all is well in the kingdom. And we're in the kingdom right here, right now, and all is well. And we are here to remind ourselves that, you know what? Yes, I can say yes to God, to life, to dreams, to possibilities, to this awakening that says life can be so much richer. It can multiply into expression in such a greater way. You're the one who has to say yes to that which wants to come through you. Not what is going on in your world to control whether you can have greater good or not. Not what someone says is possible. Not what your bank statement says. It is up to you, the I that is you, the I that is not your body, the great I am of your being. You know, when I say I, Christians, my body, my thinking, that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about that I that was Scrooge, that allowed him to fly over his life and look down on his behaviors, upon his body, upon his thinking. There was something that was far greater than his lifetime of being a miserable human being that was able to see his life and say, I don't want that anymore. I'm going to sever those chains. I'm going to sever those tethers. I am no longer bound to that. That same eye that was watching him, you have that same eye. The one that tells your mind to move that hand. Not that I have to tell it very often. It moves on its own. But I am not my body, and I am not the mind that tells my body what to do. The I am of my being is the one that operates through the mind and through the body. That is the Christ consciousness that is connected with the absolute. That is the truth of who we are, is not the physical expression. It is the unfoldment of what's on the inside that comes out onto the outside, and the outside comes back into the inside. It is amazing the way that works. Pretty simple. And so when we are out of balance, and things are not multiplying, and people are saying, boy, man, he is a miserable dude. You know, it's time to do our prayer, right? And what speaks is that I connection. See, that's the thing. I'm going to work on connecting with that absolute. I'm going to recognize Spirit as that life force, that love, that joy, that vibrancy, that peace. And I'm going to feel my oneness with it. It's everything. I'm one with that. And it's from that place that I recognize what God is and that I am of that I begin to speak the truth. Now, the truth that I speak, follow me here, because this is a really important point I'm about to make. I don't speak the truth about the problem because there is no truth about a problem. That's right. That is important. That's why I want you to get there is no truth about a problem. We may tell ourselves this is the truth about the problem, but the problem has no truth to it. You know, God is the source. God is the life. God is the only. God is the omniscient. It is the all-knowing. That's the only truth there is. And when I come to know that, I'm able to take my words to lift me to a place where I can let go of the words. And the second step really is to commune with the Spirit and move beyond that place of words. So I become that emanation, that transparency, that channel, that conduit in which that truth has expression into my life. That's the way this stuff works. Not my will. But thy will as me. What I want to do is commune. What I want to do is speak. Lord, your servant listens. Here I am. Use me to walk through this world. It'll awaken inside of me that expression of love. Just like Saul of Tarsus got smacked on the way to Damascus and came to, blinded and stunned, but awakened to become Paul, great epistle writer. You know, even if Scrooge can do it, if Saul can do it, I know that we can do it. And the fun thing about this time of the year is you're invited to come play in the joy. Oh, you can say, oh, it's all commercialism. But they've been given gifts at this time of the year from the beginning of recorded history. It's what people do. It's just because there's this sense of joy, there's this sense of givingness, there's this sense of love. It's not obligation, it's not commercialism, unless that is what you're looking at. But what I know is there's something inside of all of our spirits and souls that wants this love, that wants to go home. You know, being home for the holidays. You know, the cliche came from somewhere. It's like the truth. You know, the home is like we're homing pigeons. We come home. And when the kids stop coming home, have you noticed? Then the parents start going to the kids. Just so we can be together for the holidays. Mom, you only got 3 days, but, you know, you're welcome for a little while. But there is something, there's a love, there's a magnetism. That home is what's so special. And there's something inside of you that is just pulling you there. When I was learning how to fly, I can remember after I started to get my bearings and able to fly a little bit, the instructor would put the hood over my eyes, which means he cuts off all the vision and all I can see are the instruments on the plane. I can't see outside anymore. I can't see where I'm flying. All I got are instruments. And then he takes the yoke and he shakes the plane around and turns it this way and that way and faces it this way and who knows where it's pointing, and then gives it back to me and says, okay, take us home. Take us home. And there's something in those instruments, and I just find that beam that just leads us right in to that perfect landing. There's something, it's pretty simple. You just got to find that and listen to it and follow it straight in. There's something inside of us that wants to go home. And your home is different than my home, it's different than your home. But something in your heart that just cries out this time of year. And the other story I wanted to share with you, and I know I've shared it with you in the past, but I'm going to do it again because I like it. Because it comes from my Danish brother, Hans Christian Andersen. And it's Gretchen the Match Girl. Remember that one? Yeah. Just two of us. Okay, no. I know I've shared it with you before, so yeah. But I like it this because it's this time of the year. You know, here it is. It's New Year's Eve, and here's little Gretchen. She's about so tall now since she's been growing over the years. I've been telling the story, and when she was very little, her mom died. And so her grandmother, her Nana, Tutu, whatever she called her grandma in Danish, actually it's Bestemor, that's what I used to call mine, raised her until she was so big, and then she died. And so after all those years of being raised in love and the caring and the protection and the nurturing, her grandma died, the matriarch, the caregiver. And so she had to go live with her dad, who was cruel, was a drunk, would beat her and send her out on the streets to make money selling matches. In those days, I guess they sold matches. That's what you do, and instead of sunglasses or whatever. And you know, and it's New Year's Eve, and she hadn't sold any matches that day. All the richly dressed individuals, they were off to their parties. They were in their high spirits. They weren't going to go buy a match from this tatteredly dressed, you know, shoeless, you know, nothing on her head, nothing on her feet, blue feet girl, and she just couldn't go home. She had sold no matches that day. She knew her dad would beat her. He would be angry, and she was just delirious from the cold, and she just decided she was going to sit down between two buildings and facing the wall of one building. She was cold in her hand. She was so numb, she thought maybe I'll just light one match. And so she lit one match off that wall, and as it lit up, It was if before her was the vent of a stove, of a heater. You know, it was like and it's like she put her hands on that, and just as she was feeling the warmth, that match went out. So she thought, well, I'm going to light another match. Because, I mean, this is their inventory. Nad's not going to be on, but she lights another match, and the wall becomes transparent. She sees inside that wall the beautiful New Year's Eve table with the snow white linen, the silver that's piled up, the cakes and the fruit, and the holiday goose just sitting right there on the table. And just as she's about ready to reach in, the match goes out again. And so she grabs another match, and she lights this match, and this time she sees a Christmas tree. A Christmas tree with presents under it, like the toys that she has only seen in toy stores, nothing that she has ever been able to touch before, and she could feel the excitement of the Christmas tree. And as her match was going out this time, rather than the Christmas tree going away, she saw the lights of the Christmas tree just bring her attention up into the sky, and she could see the sky filled with stars. And as she was looking up at the stars, she saw a star fall, and she remembered what her grandmother had always told her, that whenever a star falls, somebody dies, and a soul is uplifted. And she kind of wondered who that might be. And she took another match, and she lit it, and this time in that light, she saw her grandmother. She saw her loving grandmother and was like, Grandma, I don't want to lose you. And so she took the full bundle of matches and just lit them all up. It blazed like the noonday sun. And there was her grandmother just sparkling and smiling in all her glory. And little Gretchen just reaches out her hand and says, Grandma, take me with you. And Grandma reaches out her arms and swoops up her little girl. And the next day, when the people in the town walked, they found little Gretchen on the ground, frozen to death. She had a big smile on her face. And everyone said, oh, what a loss. How sad. But Gretchen thought it was wonderful. It was a light. She went home. She found a warmth inside of her soul and her being. Who's to say that her life was not fulfilled and complete within that moment? And in our life, so often when things are not necessarily working out, we talk about, look at what I have lost, look what's not happening, what's not working. But we don't know the whole story. We don't know what's on the other side of the veil. We don't know what's going on in that mystical consciousness where there is that great I am that knows so much more than my mind thinks what it knows is right. And so what happens this time of the year, we are invited to participate in the givingness, in the joy, in the love, in the singing, in the music. We're invited to be an expression of the light, or we're invited to be a Scrooge. It doesn't matter. There'll be people to welcome you wherever your personality is, but I got to tell you, it's pretty fun being on that light side of things. It's pretty fun to show up at the candlelight service here at Seaside and sing and be happy. You know, you are at a place of choice. Am I going to see what's going on with, oh, this is too bad, this is a loss, or this isn't enough? Or am I going to see every situation as a place where God is fully expressing in the wholeness, that there is not a problem here? I'm not trying to know the truth about the problem, but I'm trying to know the truth of God that is right here, and there is nothing that can deny that. And so as much as I am able to experience on the inside and allow that to awaken that love inside of my being that will go on to the outside, what will reciprocate back into my world is that which matches that. That is the wonderful flow of life. And as you step into that, you will know within your heart how blessed you are, how you're living in an abundance of blessings, or as Tiny Tim would tell us all, God bless us, everyone. I love you. Hey, let's keep going as we bring Andrew Pettit back to the stage.
The impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave did not go to right the unrightable wrong, and to love pure and chaste from afar, to try when your arms are too weary to reach the unreachable stars. This is my quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for that heavenly cause. And I know if I only be true to that glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest, my rest. And the world will be better for this, that one man scorned and covered with scars, still strong with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable star. Lord, to reach the unreachable
That is Andrew Pettit. Reaching those heights. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That star. Oh, woo, that is it. We reached it with you. Hey, this is the time of our service where we have the opportunity to unite together in our givingness and the sharing of our gift. And know that as you give, it comes back to you. But it's not why you give, but it's an extension of your consciousness. It is that awakening. It is that expression of the love. It is the expression of just who you are and supporting that which touches you. And so as you give, you'll just find wonderful blessings pouring in your life in ways that are relevant and real. Maybe it won't be coming back from where you gave it, but don't forget it's all God. There's no place where God is not. So I'd like to invite our ushers to come forward at this time and say thank you to this team, and thank you to those that mail in your contributions. When you can't be here on a Sunday, it's greatly appreciated, as well as those that remember us with the auto tithe, that regular systematic support from your world into Seaside. The consistency and the regularity is a very big blessing for our ability to operate smoothly and comfortably. And so I share this prayer of gratitude with the most generous of spiritual communities in this holiday season, in this season of love and song, and just that awakening of the soul and the spirit, that transcendent expression of the divine that wants to lift you above the world of the pain and the difficulty, that invitation to step into something greater, for truly the blessings of the divine moves in this moment, enriching and gracing the world in which each of us walks. And so I know right now that as I say yes to the desire of a Spirit to express in a more generous way within my life, what I find is a wellspring from the inside out, pouring forth all that is necessary to support that divine ideal. And so I take this gift that comes from the heart and I send it forth in supporting Spirit's work as Seaside. And what I find is a richness and a peace and a depth of understanding and security and just that peace that comes from knowing the source is inexhaustible, that pours forth into our individual life, that it's not based upon an individual or any particular stream, but rather live in that wonderful wellspring of the divine. And so I take this which has graced my world and I send it forth knowing it brings blessings to all it comes in contact. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this opportunity to just pause and to be that divine channel. And so it is. Amen. Together, let's say this affirmation of abundance, which is, Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully, I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of greater good as my life now. Well, guys, from Seaside, offering their gift week after week. As I stand before your gift here, I can just feel this love that fills this bucket. For this bucket continues to grow in its fluent expression, and I know that it moves through each and every one of us, representing the abundance of God's blessings in our personal lives. So we give from a sense of joy. We give from that wellspring that is inexhaustible. And as it has moved through our life, it brings blessings into our personal experience, but it truly brings blessings also to Seaside and is received in good stewardship. It is handled with goodwill, and it's sent forth back into the world with joy and love, knowing it brings that grace and good to all those it comes in contact. Thank you for this moment to pause, to be part of this wonderful, beautiful expression of life. And so it is. Amen. So it is. All right. This is Cindy Dietz wishing us all a Merry Christmas, one of your board members. Hey, flowers are gorgeous. Bill and Nancy Mills, they're at the first service, but they were just saying happy holidays to us all. So I want to say thank you again for that. They're beautiful. Speaking of beauty, oh my goodness, Andrew Pettit, you are just beautiful, and your voice is amazing. Thank you. And Rebecca Jade in your fun, sparkly holiday green. How fun. And doing candlelight service for the first time Tuesday night. We're going to have a good time with that. Your mom's leading the choir. It's going to be a great night. Plan to be here Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, and see what she can do. We know it's great. We know it's fabulous for sure. Reverend Tammy, always a joy to share Sundays, holidays, and every day around Seaside with you. Giving us sound today is Matthew. Thank you very much. Giving us visuals is Marv. Know that there's CDs available right after the service if you would like. And there is Tim Griffin just sitting behind that camera week after week, live streaming this for the world, and the world is watching. Let's see, tonight's a lot of fun here at Seaside. There is a winter solstice celebration. The drumming in the past couple of years has brought in over 200 people. I'm planning to be here because it is one of those events that is growing in its magnitude and its expression, and it's fun and it's crazy. And bring your soft shoes so you can dance and pound that drum and just get primal with us all. As we participate as our ancestors did all those millenniums ago. Also today, as soon as I'm done talking, the Seaside Sisters have all those gifts out there for the women. Just go, and I know that it is their joy for you to have something there. Nothing that you have to give in exchange. It is there just from the givingness of the sisterhood of Seaside. There are 50 women here sharing tea and doing that on yesterday, and this is what they would like to share with all the women of Seaside. So plan to do that. Thursday here is Christmas Day at 12 noon. Dr. Christine is going to do a Christmas Day service, and followed by a community lunch for everyone. So that's going on Thursday if you want to be part of that. Then the following Sunday, I'm going to give you the keys to creating a magnificent 2015. So tell everybody you love who you want to give the tools to make a magical 2015 happen to be here. And you know what? I just see two wonderful gifts in the new year happening. Two new reverends. You saw their picture on the front cover of Inside Seaside today. But I would love to have Reverend Debbie and Reverend Lori Mack stand up here and tell you what they're going to be doing on Wednesday nights in the new year. Because we got a big treat happening.
I'll start. Hi, I'm Reverend Debbie. It's so good to see you. I know most all of you, and this is Reverend Lori McMacken. And we're going to be doing Wednesday night services. We're so excited. Title is Going Within. We begin January 7th. And on the first and third Wednesday, I'll be practicing the principles, the spiritual truths for positive living. And my goal is just to give you and share with you the spiritual truths and spiritual principles that you can take out into your everyday life and apply them in all walks and all areas of your life.
Hello, Seaside. I am grateful to be here with you. The second and fourth Wednesday of the night, I will be doing Practicing the Presence, a candlelight service following the path of your heart and exploring the infinite possibilities into your life. So I am grateful, and I'm going to love being with you. I'll see you tonight at Drumming Into the Light. Happy holidays.
All right. We are excited. And just by the way, Reverend Lori Mack will be the newest Rev at Seaside starting January 1st. So we're very excited about that. But what I want to do is pray right now. So I want to invite any of our religious science practitioners to stand and invite all of us to feel that upliftment of that surge, that energy, that spirit, that joy. That's something that is a reminder of that divine frequency, that invitation into the light, that expansion of the good. That's something that wants to awaken in the soul and the being, that wants to share the gifts for which you have come to be. And so in this moment of this divine recognition, I feel it, I sense it. That is that communion, is that unification with that all-knowing essence that I speak from the realization and the revelation, knowing the truth about this community, the Seaside Center for Spiritual Living, that it is growing, that it is expanding, its abundant reach. It is a thriving spiritual family that comes together based on the spiritual principles, the universal spiritual principles of truth. Not the truth about a problem, but the truth of the wholeness, of the infinite supply, of the good, of the health and the well-being. As I come to know that there's something inside that just resonates, and I'm led by a greater wisdom into the right action in life. I open up to that wonderful fluent flow and find that financial abundance pouring forth. I say yes to God and find my relationships becoming just more dynamic, more intimate, honest, deeper integrity, caring, laughter, joy, singing. Physical body truly is the temple of God, and it knows how to heal itself. Something good is going on, and what I know for each and every one of Seaside is that this new year that's coming forward is truly a gift of God. There is an awakening within the heart and the soul that is able to share more and receive more of that light and that love and that good and that glory. For it's true about Seaside, which is why I know it's true about the individual members of this family, because Seaside reflects the consciousness of the growing abundant expression of Seaside. I know every prayer in our prayer request chest is answered. For Bill, a friend of Seaside that took his life on Wednesday, there's nowhere to take him but into that light, into that life, and then he moves on with those wonderful currents of eternality, free of any of the torment or the pain or the confusion, able to express himself once again in that ever-loving kind of way that he is. For truly the blessings of God touches down in all of our lives and reminds us how blessed we truly are. Grateful to know I'm part of a community that loves, that cares, that is kind, that is continually awakening to the love of being. I just let go with a gratitude, with a belief, with a trust, with a faith, an unshakable faith in a divine right action that moves in this way. And so I let go. Just allow God to have its way. And so it is. Amen.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. And this is what you have to say: I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. Said no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Said I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. Said no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Seaside, sing it out loud. Yes, I'm only here for God.
And our affirmation is, I live in love. Together, I live in love. Touch your heart and say that. I live in love. Feel it and say it one more time. I live in love. And our song of grace.
I'm living in love. I'm living in peace. I'm living my life for what I believe, through joys and through fears. In this world I walk, God's grace shines on me, and it shines on us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. as one family. We honor our truth as together we walk. God's grace moves through me and it moves through us all. We are living